You don't need to invent the next rocket company to get rich. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be standing in the right elevator, the one that's going up. So we spent the last week digging through 2026 data to find where the money is actually moving. 10 trends. Real numbers, all verified, and I'll tell you when a number is shakier than it looks. But here's the rule that ties all 10 together, and it is the most important sentence in this video. Do not build the trend, serve the trend. The people who got rich in the gold rush were not the miners. Number 10 starts now, and number 1 is the one almost nobody is doing yet. Item 10. Grown adults buying toys. Adults now drive about 28% of global toy sales, and the kidult category alone is worth around $43 billion this year. In 2019, adults were 9% of American toy spending. By 2023, they were 17%. This is not a novelty. It is a generation buying back the last period of life that felt safe. Your play is not manufacturing plush toys. It is everything around the collection: display cases, authentication, photography for resale listings, local trading events people pay to attend. The collector always spends more protecting the collection than on the collection itself. Item 9. Pets as children. American pet spending hit $158 billion last year and should reach $165 billion this year. 95 million households own at least one pet. Meanwhile, people are having fewer kids and pouring the same guilt, love, and disposable income into an animal. That is the key. You are not selling dog food. You are selling proof that someone is a good owner. Your play is service, not product. Mobile grooming. Daytime walking routes for office workers. In-home sitting. Training that fixes one specific embarrassing behavior. Guilt has the highest margin in retail. Item 8. Parents leaving the school system. There are now roughly 3.4 million homeschooled students in America, about 6% of school-aged children. That number was under 2 million in 2012. Microschools charge anywhere from $4,000 to $15,000 a year, and the median private one has about 20 students. 20. Parents are not waiting for reform anymore. They are assembling an education from parts. Your play is to be one of the parts. Teach one skill extremely well. Math, writing, debate, coding, music. You do not need a school, a license, or a building. You need one subject and a waiting list. Item 7. Old people staying home. The American home care market is already worth about $173 billion, growing 4% a year. Roughly 10,000 Americans turn 65 every single day. 88% of them want to stay in their own house instead of a facility, and the workforce is projected to fall short by a quarter before 2030. Here is the part people miss. You are not selling to the old person. You are selling to their exhausted 45-year-old child. Your play is anything that makes mom safer and the family group chat calmer. Grab rails, ramps, check-in visits, paperwork. Item 6. Too much stuff, too little space. American self-storage generates over $50 billion a year across more than 60,000 facilities. 64% of tenants now stay longer than 12 months. Storage is what happens when people break up with their possessions emotionally but not legally. And roughly 70% of those facilities are still independently owned. That number is the whole opportunity. If you cannot buy a facility, sell into one. Moving, help, packing. Inventory photography for resellers. Climate-controlled storage for wine, art, or sneakers charges multiples of the normal rate. Item 5. Renting forever. The median first-time home buyer in America is now 40 years old. In the 80s, it was the late 20s. First-time buyers are down to 21% of the market, the lowest share on record. Now, that 40 figure comes from a survey, and mortgage data suggests the real median is closer to the mid-30s. Either way, the direction only goes one way. Renting stopped being a phase. It became a life stage, and people in temporary housing pay for anything that feels permanent. Your play is permanence as a service. Flexible furniture, renter's insurance, storage, community that survives the next lease. Item 4. The appetite is gone. Roughly 1 in 8 American adults is now taking a GLP-1 medication. Households on them cut grocery spending by about 5% within 6 months and over 8% among higher earners. An entire food industry was built for a customer who always wanted more. That customer is disappearing by prescription. Do not try to become the next supplement empire. You will lose. Your play is the person, not the pill. Small portion meal prep, protein-forward cooking, muscle preservation coaching, clothing alteration for bodies that changed 3 sizes in a year. Somebody has to take in those trousers. Item 3. Keeping the lights on. America passed 6 million solar installations this year. But here is the interesting part. The panel business is actually shrinking. The federal residential credit expired at the end of 2025, and customer-owned installs are projected to fall this year. Meanwhile, batteries went the other direction. 45% of new residential solar now includes storage, up from 38% a year ago. In California, it is nearly 70%. People stopped buying panels to save money. They started buying batteries to stay online. Your play is backup, not generation. Install it, service it, or just tell homeowners which quote is a scam. Item 2. The wires nobody talks about. Everyone is discussing AI. Almost nobody is discussing the electricians. The American industry needs over 300,000 more of them, while roughly 20,000 retire every year. Microsoft's own president called that shortage the single biggest thing slowing their data center expansion. In Northern Virginia, data center electricians clear well past $120,000. The 18-year-old who skips the degree and gets a license will out-earn most of his graduating class by 30. Your play is the license, the crew, or the company that staffs the crew. Capital is not the bottleneck. Hands are. Item 1. Nobody knows how to use AI. The agentic AI market is only around $10 billion, which sounds small until you hear the rest. Gartner expects more than 40% of agentic AI projects to be canceled by 2027, and most proof of concepts never reach production at all. Read that again. Companies are buying tools they cannot deploy. That gap is the business. Do not build a model. You would be fighting trillion-dollar companies. Automate one ugly workflow for one boring industry. Appointment follow-up for dentists, permit filing for builders, invoice chasing. Unglamorous, unlimited, and almost nobody is doing it. So let's bring this home. 10 trends, 1 pattern. Every single one is a rising market with an understaffed service desk. Notice what none of them required. No funding round, no genius idea, no permission from anybody. Don't build the drug, serve the person taking it. Don't build the grid. Become the one who wires into it. Don't build the school. Teach one skill parents will pay for. The next decade will make more millionaires than any decade in history, and almost none of them will be founders you read about. They will be operators who picked one rising floor and solved one ugly problem better than anyone else. So tell me in the comments which number you're taking. Subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the ugly service businesses making people quietly rich right now.